Hello guys, this is Justin McCullen and welcome back to JDM Professionals. Now I said I would do this sooner after my last video, so I'm gonna do that. If you watched my last video, I've just finished my services with FCC. And if you watched that video, you noticed that I said in the end that I end up finding another job quickly. And what is that new job? I'll tell you. But first, a backstory. I mentioned that my last day was at Corona Plaza on December 19th. And I mentioned that I dominated that, and my team and I dominated that day and all that. Well, after work was done, one of the canvassers was talking about the certain job and all that, and he got interviewed and all that, and I asked him what job was he talking about. He told me about the job, and he gave me an email to email them my resume and my interest in this job, and I saw the job and I was like, this is pretty good, I'm gonna go do that. So I went home and then I sent the email and my resume and all of that. And only a couple of hours later, only a few hours, my new job just emailed me back and sent me a link to join the Queen's group chat and all of that. And what is my new job? My new job is working as a COVID-19 testing canvasser at ProICT, a very new company that recently started like a week before I did. And you may be asking what I do with ProICT. Well, I'll tell you. For the COVID testers, also known as sample collectors, canvassers, is a support role consisting of employees who are based primarily out of permanent or semi-permanent testing sites. The COVID tester is responsible for all aspects of the COVID testing process, including, but not limited to, patient registration, sample collection, administrative activities, sample transportation, house calls, and basic facility management, sanitizing, cleaning, and trash disposal. So yeah, I'm now doing COVID tests now. No vaccines anymore, just testing and all that. It was really interesting, and I was glad I was able to find it quickly. So I was waiting in the chat and keeping an eye out on the training sessions and all of that, and while I was waiting for my training, we were told to invite many people into the company and all that. So I did just that. They gave me a flyer, and then I posted on my Facebook, posted on my LinkedIn, and I texted my friends about that, and I brought so many people in this company, and it's not just Queens, but it's like Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, so many people. Like, as of now, I bought it, I don't know my exact number, but I can definitely say it's over 35 people I brought in this company. Now the people that I bring to this company, they're either most of them are from FCC, while some I bought from AM Trace or friends I know from school or anywhere else and all that. It was really good, and I started to impress so many people quickly. So much so that, I kid you not, someone from management literally messaged me and he offered me the position for team lead. But I didn't even start working for this company yet, and somebody already wants to get me promoted. And that is really interesting and all that. Okay, so I was waiting, and then I did the training. For my training was on December 21st, 2021, and it took place near Times Square. I mean, it's not Queens, but Lower Manhattan's actually not that bad. So I went there and I saw many people. I was waiting to get trained and all that, and we found out that the suppliers were going to be a little late, so we waited and waited. And once and eventually they arrived, and we were being taught how to take the COVID test, how to sign people up for the COVID test, and everything I needed to know. So each of us tested one person. Like I tested one of my coworkers from FCC. One of the many people that I brought in. So I was getting him test. So I got him tested, and then once the training's done, I was told to bring 5 samples with me home, and I needed to get 5 people tested. And once I get that done, I'll automatically begin work with ProICT. Okay, so I took them and I went back home. The first 3 were easy. I was able to get 3 done easily that day because I tested my mom, I tested my stepdad, and I tested my grandma. Those are very easy because they live by me. The other 2 was a bit tough. Like I was texting or trying to call many friends nearby me and ask them if they want to get tested, but either they never reply or they say no. But then I managed to find one of my old schools. Like I talked to one of my teachers from one of my old schools, 51st Academy, and asked if she was there the next day, and I asked if I can get her tested and all that. So she said yeah. Yes. So then the next day before another shift, I around the morning, early afternoon, I went to 51st Academy and got my 5th grade teacher and one other tested, which was really good. Because I needed to get people tested, and I wanted to start work immediately. Like I did find, and it was good that I did, because my 5th grade teacher literally told me that the teachers there were having a difficult time getting tested, and it was good that I did that. Of course, by the time I'm recording this, schools are having take-home tests now, so it's not as difficult as before. So after I got that done, and knowing I have the time, I told the company that I got all 5 tests done, and that was on December 22nd, 2021, I officially started working with ProICT. And on my first day took place like Hillside Avenue and 165th Street, I think. I never been there before, but I knew it was sort of near Jamaica Center and all that. So I brought in the samples, and I needed to see what we needed to do. Now the thing about the training, it only takes 1 hour and all that, but on a regular shift, it's 6 hours. So I came there like late afternoon and finished at night and all that. What he basically did was walk around the streets, walk around the businesses, asking people if they want to get tested for COVID. Luckily, there was like 3 people at a car store that wanted that got tested, and my teammate got some tests as well and all that. And we were having, but besides that, we were having a difficult time of finding of getting people tested. So after that, the management decided to give us a table and have people come to us. And we've decided to go to Jamaica Center, and so we went there and we got the table and all of that. Unfortunately, since it was too cold and it was a bit dark, it was difficult. I mean, my first day was pretty decent because at that site I made a total of 4 COVID tests and around 15 conversations. I'm not 100% sure. But as for my entire team, my team overall made a total of 98 tests which was actually really good. Because there was a lot of people and they got a lot of work done. I mean, like the first day was a bit stressful and needed time to figure out what we're doing and all that, but it was not that bad. So then the next day on December 23rd, I went back to work in Jamaica Center once again. At first we were just canvassing around of talking to people, but then eventually we got a table set up. And with that table for the whole day, we got a lot more people. Because in that site, I collected 6 COVID tests and made like around 100 conversations. And not only that, but there was a vaccine bus nearby. So I also sent 4 people to the vaccine bus for walk-ins and all that. So that was great. And as for my team, we made a total. We've collected 115 COVID tests. Definitely a big improvement and all that. And we were working so well that management decided to give us food for dinner. I mean, I knew I was gonna have dinner after work, but I had it anyways because the food was good and all that. And that was very nice of them to give us food for all that hard work. Yeah, and I basically told her that my numbers went up, and one of them literally said, "And your numbers will go higher." So only a couple of days, and it seemed like I'm already started to become the face of a company yet again. And that was pretty cool. So then I went to work on Christmas Eve on Woodside, like in Roosevelt Avenue and I believe 55th Street, I think. I don't remember exactly which street, but I definitely know the area and all of that. So now, interesting fact. Before I went to work that day, I went to have lunch with my dad because he was visiting for the holidays and all of that. It was fun and all of that, and we made perfect timing. And before my dad left, I asked him if I can get him tested. He said yes, so I basically gave my dad a COVID test right at the start. And it was super cool to do that. And when I shared with my team about that, they were impressed. I mean, it's like a good way to celebrate the holidays, getting your family tested. So that is great. So the day went on, and we had the tables and all stuff, and people were coming in and all of that. And just like Jamaica Center, we did an impressive job, so much so that they gave us food once again. And that time it was perfect because I needed food to eat for dinner. So that was pretty cool. So in the end, I have collected 7 COVID tests and made like around 50 conversations. Oh yeah, and I made an appointment as well. And meanwhile, my team that side made a total of collected 54 tests. So as you saw, that the days go by and my numbers are getting better and better and better. And that was really good, and I was impressing so many people and all that. So that was my first week as a testing canvasser for ProICT, and I was really happy about that. And now we have the next week of December, the final week of 2021, and that week was literally the what I can say so far was the best week I've ever had for ProICT. From the 27th to the 29th, I was working in Queens Center Mall, which was a much more convenient to go than Jamaica. Everything was pretty good in the very beginning. Because in that site, I made a total of, I've collected 12 COVID tests. I made like around 150 conversations. And then I also brought 5 people to the vaccine site. which is good because at that time the lines for the testing and the vaccinations were super long. It's like around the block and all that, which is really good. It's good to see a lot of people get tested and vaccinated and all that, especially with the cases rising up at the time and all that. As for my team that day, we collected 150 tests. So that was a pretty productive day over there. And then something happened when we were there. I was at the table and we were talking to people, getting tested and all of that. And then while we were talking, a nurse from one of the testing sites came to us, and she was pretty angry. She was complaining to us about some of our coworkers. Saying that they're being rude and disrespectful and taking people away from the testing site and all of that. And when she said it, I could not believe it because one of those people, I've worked with FCC, and he's really cool and he would never cause trouble. And I felt the same way about the other one. Like I knew she would never cause trouble and all that. So when my lunch break came along, the first thing I did was walk up to them both and tell them about the whole situation, about what the nurse said, and it was true and all that. And they both confirmed that the nurse was basically lying, and that they weren't doing anything wrong. They were doing what they needed to do. I mean, the thing about getting people away from a testing site, it's not like we're ruining their business. Is that we made it easy for them because it gets people tested quicker, but it gives them a less of a line, so they have less people to deal with. So basically, that nurse was a bit crazy. I mean, I knew that both of my coworkers would never cause trouble and all that, but I needed to talk to them because when stuff like this, I wanted to hear two sides of the story, and I already know the real story and what was rumored. So everything was good and all that. Then a lot more happened in Queen Center Mall the next day because over there I've collected a career high of 26 COVID tests. 26 while making like around 175 conversations. And just like before, I also made 5 vaccine walk-ins yet again. So that was good. But my team, oh my god, my team dominated more as they collected 446 COVID tests. That was literally amazing. We got so much done. A lot more than before. And we got another good day on the third. On the third day, because over there, I made a total of 18 COVID tests, and while making 150 conversations. And not only that, but I also made 13 walk-ins, and I made a vaccine appointment for one person. So Space pretty much got those same skills from AM Trace and FCC. I mean, like, I may not work for a vaccine company anymore. I may not work for AM Trace or FCC anymore. But that doesn't mean that I can't use these skills anymore. So the opportunity was there. I used it to my advantage, and now I got people vaccinated, even though my job is testing people. So that is really good. And as for my team made a total of 402 tests. So that another good day over there. So my 3 days in Queen Center Mall were great. An interesting fact, while I was working that week, my job have a limited time announcement that until January 31st, that our target would be 20 tests, and that every single test we get, they add extra $6. So for that Tuesday, I got 26, so I got an extra $36 for that day. So really good. Okay, so then on Thursday, December the 30th, this time around, I was working at Queen's Place. You know, the other mall in Queens Boulevard? You know, the one that has Target and all of that? So I was there, and we had a big team. So big that we had like one team, my team, at the Queen's Place, another with the benches at Queens Center Mall, and another one in front of the Cheesecake Factory. So it was really, so it was a big day. And unsurprisingly, we dominated again, because on that site, I made a total of I've collected 19 COVID tests, and made like 150 conversations, which was great. But my team, they dominated, because for all those three teams, my team in the Queen's Place may have collected 520 tests. 520. We made the 500 mark, and that was just amazing. And not only that, but when I was there, one of the canvassers was one of the people taking charge of that site, me being another, and another guy being the other. But she did so good job organizing everything and bringing people in line and all of that. And when the day was over and before I left, I told her that I was impressed with how she led the site today and all of that. And if you keep it up, they'll make you team lead. And behold, later that night, I got a text from her, asking me if I want to go to Queen's Place, and then she'll put me there if I agree to it. And I was like, wait, is she team lead now? And I asked her, and she's like, yes. So lo and behold, I called it. I literally called it. I literally said that if she continues to do the job and all that, they'll make her team lead. And look and behold, she is team lead now. And it was well deserved, and I congratulated her and all that. The thing is, I couldn't take that because I already had a shift on New Year's Eve. And on New Year's Eve, I was working near the Flushing Library. And let me tell you about Flushing. It was great. It's like I'm not exactly sure 100% of what I did. Obviously because we didn't put in our final totals and all that. Only my team lead for that site knows about the amount of tests, but I definitely know that I was one of the 3 stars of the day, because I think I made like around 20 tests that time. I don't remember exactly, but I was making a lot, because in reality I tested like 55 people, but we were separating the numbers because we were putting it together as a team. But I definitely did a lot, and so did 2 others. And I basically made, I think, 100 conversations, and my team dominated as well. Because on that day, my team at Flushing collected 196 tests. And if that wasn't, that's not the most memorable part of it all. That's not even the best part. That's not even close. Because for that site, I was originally supposed to work from 2 to 8. And then 8 came along, and we found out that we're near the 1,000 tests and all that. And since we closed, management decided that for us to work overtime and to keep getting people tested till we reach the goal of 1,000 tests for that entire day. And work only, we work for 2 extra hours, except for me. I only finished at 9:30 because I had to leave because my dad was waiting and we were gonna watch the movies like Spider-Man, and we needed to make it at 10, so I had to go. But once we got to the theaters, we made it. With the 196 tests made in Flushing, we helped made Queens the first borough to hit 1,000 tests that day. So what a way to end the year. A lot of work got done, and that was the end of it. So that was my summary with ProICT in December. Interesting beginning, and it started with domination and memorable moments, and I really enjoy it. So you may be asking how I did that day, and I'll tell you my summary for December. So in my first month with ProICT, I've collected a total of 112 Covet tests. Like, most of them are involved in the second week. Like in that second week, I nearly made 100 tests the entire week, which was amazing. And I did it while making 890 conversations, I think, because I didn't keep track of the conversations for some of the days. So that's what it is. So nearly 1,000 in 2 weeks. And while also in my spare time, made 26 vaccination walk-ins and 2 vaccine appointments. And throughout, and my entire team that month, in the inaugural month of ProICT, made 1,981 tests, nearly 2,000, which was really impressive. And for that Flushing, since I worked an extra hour and a half, I would get a $20 I would get a $30 bonus for that as well. So as I'm recording this, I'm still waiting for my check for that second week and the week after, but I'm expecting it to be a monster paycheck, and that is amazing. So that pretty much sums up my first month for ProICT. And knowing when I'm recording this, it's February right now, so you obviously know this means that my January summary will come out soon. So when I get a chance, hopefully sooner, maybe tomorrow, if I'm really free, I will talk about my ProICT summary for January. Last thing, before I end this video, I would like to point out that ProICT is currently hiring, and we're building up a team and all that. So this job is only for it's a New York City type thing. So if you're not in New York City, then I'm sorry, but this isn't for you. But if any of you watching this video are from New York City and want to work as a testing canvasser at ProICT, email your resume and your interests at covettesthiring@proict.co. It's covettesthiring@proict.co. And not only, and you can also send a text or call 1-646-269-7772. That's 1-646-269-7772. So those are the sources if you to let them know that you want to work for this job. So feel free to share this information with your friends, family, or anyone else looking for a job, because ProICT, working as a testing canister at ProICT is a good experience and all that. So, for that said, so I hope you enjoy this, and if you're planning to apply to work for ProICT, I hope to see you at work soon and all that. So, with that said, this has been Justin Magone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and God bless America.